casual Sunday today, mate. I loaded a few lambs this morning to go to Melbourne or go to Colac over the hooks. And then I think we both went to the air show in Toke.
Yep.
Yeah. What's it, biannual? Every 2 years, is it? Is that biannual? I think so. It wasn't
bloody
last
good
year.
question.
I think it's every 2 years, but it was a cold bath for the day, so I was only there an hour. So I
Yeah, so Marky and I went, and we put a buddy two. We were pretty rugged up. Like I had a jump. We both had jumpers on, and then we set our chairs up behind a Ford Ranger that was sitting there as one of the people, buddy, doing the serving of the coffees. I think he was doing. And they didn't come out to that Ranger once the whole time, and we had this perfect wind block, so it wasn't too bad.
I had a jacket with me, and I thought if the sun comes out, it's going to get hot. So I left it in the ute, and I'd be frozen the bone by the time I left. So I thought I'd had enough.
No, it got pretty cool. It actually warmed up in the afternoon. The sun come out in for brief periods. I'm actually a little bit sunburnt, if you buddy. Red in the cheeks. Yeah. But no, it worked out pretty good. Sent the young fella Marky up for a ride in a helicopter. He frothed that pretty well. That he came back with a smile from ear to ear.
Nice one.
Anyway, welcome to all those who are coming on the live now. We've got a few of them there. G'day, Isaac. I've got a few others. Manners, what's going on? There'd be a few names I don't recognise, probably from JB's side.
Yeah, no,
so. For those who don't know either of us, we actually are both agricultural YouTubers, and we're only 50 kilometres difference in distance. So there's not much separation between us. We've known each other for young fellas decided to walk in here. We've known each other for 15 years now, I suppose. Not in too great a capacity, but we've certainly known each other for sure.
Yeah. Well, probably actually. Well, I've had more to do. Come across Jimmy, your brother, more so than yourself. So
yeah, that's right. I think you're probably a little bit older than me, so it's more Jimmy's age than my age.
I'm 45.
I'm 35, so he's 44. So
yeah, right. Okay, that's Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's that's the connection there, but. If you look at our YouTubes together, I think we actually do a fairly similar job. We're both growing summer crops. We're both growing similar winter crops. If you compare the pair side by side, they are fairly similar. So that's interesting to see, just in the difference in location, that we're pretty much doing the same thing. Like it's we're not doing wildly different enterprises. I'd say you're more sheep heavy, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, we're probably 50-50, winter cropping sheep.
We were like that back in the day, but Jimmy put the end to that.
Okay.
He didn't like the sheep at all, so he got rid of all them. But we were merino. It's just purebred merinos for forever, and the wool just wasn't paying us enough anymore. Jimmy didn't want to stuff around with it, so we jumped out of them completely.
Yeah.
Well, not completely. Sorry, we've still got a couple.
Yeah. And look, we've got it set up now that we sort of run the livestock. We've sort of got basically two blocks, I suppose. We've got our irrigation block where we live, and then we've got our dry country, and we effectively run the bulk of the sheep and fatten the lambs and that on our home block, and then most of our dry country is set aside for cropping. So we're sort of with our irrigation, we're sort of loosen and we find a better return with the loosening lambs and the summer crop, sort of where we're finding the better return anyway.
Yeah, yep. No, I think the first video I watched when I started the YouTube of you, I'd watched a few over the years or whatever, but the first one I watched, you actually mentioned, I think you were doing a video with your business manager, and he actually said, or you had figured out, I think 2 in 5 years, I think it was 3 in 5 years the lambs didn't pay. Was that correct?
No, so
they paid the two. Yeah.
Yeah,
You say
so the last 5 years, you've confused me now. So, 4 out of the last 5 years, our livestock enterprise has been better than our dryland cropping.
Yep,
And that
that's
was
right. That's what I was trying to say.
2022 or 2023, when lambs, the price went from $250 back to $120 year on year sort of thing. So it was purely a price driven thing.
Now it's sort of flip flop. Now the lambs have shot up and the commodity price has shot down, so it's going to be a whitewash probably this financial year.
Yeah, and I'll just put a thing up on Instagram, and actually, we can talk about the YouTube video that I can't bloody process. But anyway,
you better tell the folks because they're all sitting here
Yeah.
looking. We've got a fair following here, so you might as well tell them what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know, but the program I use to edit my videos has had a meltdown, and for whatever reason, it won't let me actually convert it from the separate videos to a video, so I can upload the damn thing. And I've stuffed around with it for 24 hours. About 10 o'clock last night, the computer nearly went out the window because I've deleted the program, uploaded it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's a pain in the ass, to be brutally honest. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Technology. This is coming
technology.
from two blokes that just tried to make the YouTube on the computer work for the last half an hour and give up in
I
disgust.
was going to say, the last half an hour, if you're a fly on the wall in the last half an hour, you'd get a bit of a picture of what's going on. But yeah, I commented on the last video, which I will upload at some stage, but even on, I think I put it up on Twitter and both Instagram, we're at the point now where a lamb is worth as much as a ton of barley or a ton of wheat, So I had a guy over in South Australia that I know through Twitter comment on my Facebook post, and he just said he's effectively got 30 single truckloads of barley running around at the moment. I sort of did the maths myself. I think we've got 60. So I think we've got it. If you want to put it in grain terms, we've bred about 1,500 lambs. So we've got an extra 1,500 ton of barley running around. If you want to put it that way. So
yep, that's a good way to look at it. No, it's certainly attractive, particularly from our side. You go, Jesus Christ, we should be stuffing around with these, but it's how much do you want to play the game? We've got a fair bit going on here. We could we actually have a feedlot over at Urunga there on the Riverina Highway that could well and truly take well, I don't know how many lambs you can smash in a bloody square metre, but it could take a fair bit because I think there would have been at least 200 or 300 cows in there when it was sold to us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're just in the midst of building a feedlot. I think it'll probably start this week. Hopefully the fencing guys coming this week to punch a few posts in for us. So, look, it's going to be the way the year's rolling away. It'll be probably the new year before we get any stock. Time we get it finished and get stock in there, but we'll sort of try as much as we can to get it. And while we've got green feed, depending on whether we can buy lambs, we did 1,000 lambs just on grass last year over and above our own lambs. So I'm hoping, it will just depends what the buying price is going to be. And those lambs we sent today, they're going over the hooks at $12 a kilo dressed.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Which in 20 years I've been doing it. It's just best money I've ever had. So it doesn't need to be that high. It can be, if it stayed around 10. We were mid-8s last year and we thought we were doing well. So
yep.
Yeah, it'd be really good if it'd stay around that $10, and there's a good dollar in it then.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, it makes it profitable, unlike their bloody cropping job at the moment. Doesn't matter which way you skin it, it's not coming up pretty.
No, God, no. So,
having a look at Edward Guthridge's comment here, how much rice you're putting in, that leads into a question I wanted to ask you. How much rice are you putting in?
It's been bounced around a fair bit the last 2 weeks. So we've got 40 hectares here that's set up to rice layout. So the plan is to do that 40 hectares. the way the water job is at the moment, we've only got about 10% water allocation.
Yeah, I think we're
And
working on the same figures then.
yeah, and like temporary water to buy is around that 215 to 235, I think, at the moment, a megalitre.
Yep.
So we've sort of penned, like we had corn last year, and we've sort of penned both of them just to see how they come out. Now the rice actually comes out better.
I'm
Than
surprised. That
corn.
surprised me when you said that, because I was like, surely with the price of water, the water would be just a killer. But I'm taking the wild stab in the dark and saying the price of fertilizer is really affecting that as well.
Well, even seed, mate. Like I don't know. I worked out. I think we were $650 a hectare in seed last year. Would that be right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
couldn't tell you. That's not my department, but I could
yeah.
find that out. Yeah,
So you like I don't know. You're six. I think the numbers I did were about $650 a hectare for seed. We were, you're butting near $1,000 a ton for urea now. So at
yeah,
600 kilos, like at a minimum, there's another $600. And
yep.
MAP's I think 1350. I think
13,
was what it was
yeah. I
quoted.
was gonna say
So
1300. Yeah,
yeah, so that's where your costs are, really, and I mean you're not putting as much water on. I think last year we were around the eight megs the hectare.
yeah. Okay.
Generally we can get sort of we budgeted on sort of 12 to 13 for rice. So
Mm,
um, they've sort of brought out a contract for $500 a ton now, for rice, just to try and get blokes to grow it.
to do it.
And
Yep.
yeah, and it's a bit like the wheat job. It's based on quality, so you've got a bit of upside on that price, but you've also got downside. Like they've brought in this quality score now.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you've got an 8.5 quality score, you're $500 a ton. But if you've only got a 6 quality score, you're back to probably $400 a ton. So
What
um,
affects the quality score?
oh well, it's basically your mill out really. So
Yeah. Okay.
cracked
Yep.
grains. And I went to a meeting during the week, and they actually had a couple of bags of rice. It was really really well done actually, and they had a 8.5 quality score. So you had X amount of good rice at the top, and then X amount of fine, so your cracked grains and that sort of stuff. And then they had a 5.5, and then they had a 2 or something like that. And obviously the
Yeah.
proportion of good grain and shit grain, it swapped over. So
Yeah.
I
Just the
think that,
size of your grain
yeah,
and how
yeah,
well it's been treated, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. And like when it's, where the blokes have drained too early, drained the water off it too early, and, harvested it, they're trying to get you to harvest it at 22%.
Yep.
So that's a lot different to harvesting it at 14 or 15%, like you crack and grain and that sort of stuff. So it's
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Yep. And crack grain's one of those things in a header you can sort of manage a fair bit if you know what you're doing. You can manipulate your rotor speed and your concave opening to sort of manage that cracking fairly well, can't you?
yeah, 100%. But like you've stripped rice. Like stripping rice at 22% is pretty bloody hard on the machine. Like
Yep.
it is. You wouldn't bail what's coming out of the back of the header. Like you'd want
Yeah,
to wrap
yeah.
it in. You'd want to wrap it in plastic for
Yeah,
silage.
yeah, that's
You know.
right. Yeah. You gotta leave
Um,
it for a good couple of weeks before you can even hit it.
yeah, yeah. So it's you winding a fair bit of green stuff through the machine, and the other problem you got is trafficability. Like the bloody ground's only just dry enough to get a machine on, let
Yeah,
alone
yeah.
you know. So so there's plenty of pros and cons for it, but we haven't actually had confirmation that we've got a contract yet. So
Yeah.
we've applied for a contract, and it's purely a hectare based contract.
Yep.
Um, so so yeah, we did a bit over 13 ton 2 years ago when we grew it. So we're sort of working on around those
That's good.
numbers. So
13 tons good, yeah. Yep.
yeah, so it comes out around that 14 or $1,500 a hectare if you can get the quality right and the yield right. So
Yep.
um, I'm gonna make a damn sight less off some of my wheat and barley crops this year. So
Oh,
yeah,
100%, yeah. So
yeah,
doing the figures on the corn for those playing on the corn, I think we penciled into the budget, and I think we could maybe achieve it if we're because we're doing we're probably looking at 250 hectares. If we can pencil it in at $200 for the amount of megalitres we need, we can make it work. If you go 200 plus, it just doesn't work. Like the margins are so slim. But the good thing about corn is it's a sure thing. Generally, if you've got urea and water, you can make it work. Like it's almost a sure thing. You're bound to get that 15-ton plus as an average across the cards. If you can get it in, you can get it up. It's almost a sure thing. But like when you plant barley, wheat, canola, whatever you're trying to do, you're taking a big risk. Is it going to go 700 kilos? Is it going to go 7 ton? Like you just don't know. You can't sort of really bargain or do anything with it.
Yeah, but thing I like about both corn and rice is they're recipe crops. If you've got water, you just like rice is, they've got their 3-way chemical mixes that you put out, and it's it's pretty simple to grow. And if you just work on those, those 2 or 3 percenters, you can really get it to yield. Yeah, that's why sort of you're not relying on rainfall.
Nah.
Yeah, it can be a bit precarious at the harvest end if it you get a wet autumn. It can take the fun of it pretty quickly, but
yeah, for sure, yeah.
And we're
I think 90% of it's getting it out of the ground. If you can get it out of the ground, you're pretty safe. Like, yeah, you got to deal with it at the other end. We're pretty happy with that, buddy. Other than last dry that we're running now, we can get away with a lot.
Yeah.
So that sort of helps, but yeah, getting it out of the ground, we've got the recipe pretty right for that now. It took us a few years to get that right, but we generally run a strip till pass, and then water, then plant as soon as it's ready to plant. Just bang it in and be done. And you really can't stuff it up. The worst thing that can happen is it rains like 2 inches on the bloody strip tilled stuff, or on the stuff you've already irrigated. That's when the problem begins.
Yeah. Like we couple of we don't have a lot of on-farm storage, so we're mucking around with silo bags at harvest.
Yeah, that makes it hard.
We're not far off the river.
I've lost all Sandy. Oh, there we go. You're back.
You got me? Yeah, sorry. Another phone call coming in.
The joys.
So we're not far off the Murray River here, so we've got what's happened?
I think your phone call went with the camera went with the phone call, I think.
Hang on. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll just, while you're ginning in now, I might see if we can address some of these comments before we get snowed under. Thank you for all the warm welcomes there. And we've seen both of you gents down at Henty on Tuesday. Are you going to Henty, JB, or not?
Yeah, I am, mate, on Thursday, though, so...
Yeah. I think everyone's going on Thursday except me, I think.
Yeah, righto.
I think Jimmy's going there on Thursday, and some of the other boys from the farm are going there on Thursday. But I always like to get in nice and early to get the reps when they're all full of zeal. I like to call it.
What's going on?
Check what's going on with the belly camera there. I'm still black screen on this side. We'll see what happens. What are you guys' thoughts on commodity pricing moving forward with sheep and goat? I think we covered that one pretty well. Got much of a supposed rain today, mate. They're getting your out. They measured about 500,000 where their apps have lost the plot. Yeah, I have to concur with that statement. There was 4/5 of F-all come today. I think the only time it rained was when I was sitting out in it at Tokemore, but whatever was coming for Monday's gone. Whatever was supposed to be here for Sunday didn't happen, and it's not looking good for the week, to be fair.
No.
Which is not what I need. I think I will be hitting up the buddy. We will be watering flat out by this time tomorrow, I'd say.
I don't know what's going on here, Andy. I can't.
I don't. I've turned myself off now. I thought that might come up with you. For those who are playing along with the comments, can you see or hear JB, just out of curiosity? And who else we got here? How you going, Andy and John from Countrywide? Is that Countrywide Ag? Is that the Countrywide people who make the bloody the canola front or not? Sure. Can hear, can't say. Well, that's all that matters. As long as we can hear you, we're doing good. We're doing good. Fellas, you two are doing a great job on the YouTubes. Thanks, Jason Rowe. What are your guys' thoughts on? Oh, no, we've already done one.
Wonder.
Yeah, they say everyone's getting the same thing. You've got black screen. I want to just try this could either go really good or really terrible. Try go out of it and come back into it. Before you do it, guys, if we drop out, find us again in 5 minutes' time. We're having a few technical technical difficulties.
Right, I'll be back in a sec.
All right, see how this goes. I'm back. Oh, it's just me now. All right, we'll see if I can accept him back in here in a second. Try that. You bloody stupid phone. Should come up. I think it's coming. Hey, here we go. Perfect. That worked good. I thought that was going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Anyway.
That's right. The phone call stuff. So yeah. Again, more technical difficulties. Don't try and do this if you're two farmers from the Riverina because it's too fucking hard.
Yeah.
too bloody hard, I should say. I don't try not to swear on the YouTube too much.
Yeah, no, I try to keep it to a minimum if I can, or bleep it out. Anyway.
Yeah, no. If you see a piece in my my video where it just suddenly skips forward a little bit, like it's about a second, that's me deleting the hundreds of bloody swear words I have to delete. Not so much from me, but from the other boys. They tend to drop them left, front, and center. And I'm not any better. I'm not saying I'm any better, but they just don't get it.
Yeah.
There's too many kids watching this stuff. I think when I first got started, I was getting Snapchats from people who were watching it, and every single one of them was watching with their young, 12-year-old kid. I thought, yeah, no, let's bring the swearing back to an absolute zero.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, Wayne, I should have started a podcast, not a YouTube channel. I do often say that. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I think the podcast might be slightly more difficult than the YouTube. So you got to really get a good following early to make it really work, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, so corn. What we're talking about corn before it disappeared. So yeah, so another reason we sort of backed off we'll still go corn again, but we don't have a lot of on-farm storage. So we're mucking around with silo bags. Being close to the river here, we've got a community of Corellas that just they seem to know when you're starting to fill, and they just hang up. And we had one this year that had a couple actually. They just bloody destroyed them. So, and scare guns keep them away, and you a bit of live fire as well, but you can nearly set your clock to 10 to 7 every morning, and they're coming in. So the beauty of the rice is you can just harvest it and deliver it, and you don't see it again. So that's a bit of a thing. We're sort of not set up like you guys with your on-farm storage, or vertical storage anyway.
Yeah, that certainly makes it more difficult. There's no two ways about it. I've seen the same situation from neighbours next to us. They generally give it a go, and then it does become fairly painful when you got to put it into bags. But the good thing about the bags, and you may be able to tell me that, tell me this: your drying program, if you ever have to dry, what does that look like?
Yeah, good question. We've got a Coxa silo here, drying silo here.
Yeah, okay.
That we bought. I don't know. It's about a 70 tonner, and we just feed. It's we just got a generator here, and we just actually pull the warm air off the generator and feed it into the fan. So it comes out of the generator about 35 degrees and about 35% humidity.
Yep.
Which seems to be not too bad. And you pull it down, it's slow, like you pull it down at about 1% a day.
Yep.
Yeah, so look, it's not ideal. We were lucky this year. We had about 1,100 tonne off what we had in, and we didn't have to dry any of it. It's just one of those autumns where we were fortunate enough that was the case. But there'll come a time where we're going to have to dry it. So I'm not 100% sure what the. Obviously, it'd be great to have a big setup like what you girls have got, but it's economy of scale too. We're not growing the tons to do it. So,
yeah. Well, if it's any good to you, I have a Predator dryer for sale. If I haven't mentioned that
right, okay,
700,000 times, but we could probably sort you out with a higher job if it gets to
righto.
that. But if you don't need to, do it this year, you'll be laughing.
Yeah. We would have. Look, we've got capacity to grow some on flood irrigation this year. If for some reason, if by chance it starts to rain and the allocation jumps, we might put some late stuff in or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll just see
I
at the
think
moment.
I think all of our this stuff this year is coming in behind canola. Like every piece of it is in winter crop at the moment. There's nothing left out for early corn. So whatever we do will be after canola.
Yep.
And I think we're at this stage. The plan is to do 250 hectares, which is more than I would have thought. Our
Yep.
usual full program's 500, but that does include country that's been left out. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's you like, what do you do? If you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I don't know if you've seen it with their budget, because we only did our budget there not that long ago. If you take the corn or a summer crop out, it really stings to get back into it later on. You just you end up chasing your tail around because the profit's not there, and the good profit's not there in the first place. But even if you can do it and sort of still just break even, it's easier to do that than try and come back into it when you haven't got like coming out of a drought or something like that.
Yeah, the cash, it's definitely a lot better for cash flow having it in the system.
Yeah.
Even if there is only $1,000 a hectare in it, or $800 a hectare or something in it, like
Yeah.
there is definitely that middle period of the year when there's generally not a lot of money coming in. That does definitely help.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, that's right. I just see Paul's comment there. Is there a market to sell silage? Have you got a market for silage over there?
No, not down here. We don't. It was sort of we had a dairy, local dairy here, corporate dairy we do a lot of contracting there, but it's no longer. So
Yeah, okay.
the cows are gone, so we don't have a dairy in our immediate area anymore.
Yeah. No, we're the same. The freight from here to anywhere is just terrible. There's no dairy. There's no feedlot near us. It's silage is a very, very last resort. Yeah.
What's it cost you to dry your corn, Andy? That's a question there.
This is another question for my brother. I should know, but I don't know. I know we charge about. I'm going to butcher this. I think it's $35 a ton to dry it for other people. That includes the electricity cost and the diesel cost, I think, from around 20%. So if you had your own dryer, had your own electricity, I think it's like 25 or something to
Yep.
actually dry it down. So there's a few hidden sort of benefits in there. You may lose $25 a ton or whatever the price actually ends up being, but then if you can get a winter crop in behind it, you pretty much gain whatever you were you've gained more than you were going to lose, and a fair bit more. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You really can sort of like our theory is if you can get 2 crops in 3 years, sorry, 3 crops in 2 years, you're way ahead of nearly anything else. So just do what you can. If you've got to dry, so be it, and just bang the next crop in and get it going and start making money off it. That's how we sort of really utilize what we've got.
Yeah. And we were all quite prepared to. I sort of reckon you can bag corn up to 18 and 19%. So we were quite prepared if we were looking at a wet autumn to slip into it and just bag it and deal with it afterwards.
Yeah, that's
We
interesting that they allow it to go up that high. You would think it would start to spoil. Even like there's supposed to be a lack of oxygen, but there's no such thing as lack of oxygen in a bag, is there?
no. And look, we've stripped it in, and you blokes probably learned the same. Look, we've harvested in September before, and that's not a lot of fun.
No, that's a shit idea.
Yeah.
Shitidea.com. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the general consensus is now if it looks like it's going to rain at somewhere near the mark, you just get into it and get it off.
Yeah. Yep. Just bang it off and be done with it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh well, that's so we've covered the corn and the rice. How is everything looking for the wheat canola? Do you do barley as well?
We do, mate. Yeah, we've got probably mainly barley. Like out of our
Mm,
cereals, is mainly barley this year. So
that's handy.
yeah, although the price isn't, it's sort of heading in the wrong direction. But anyway, look,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd have to check, but we're about 220 mil for the year so far,
Yeah.
and a lot of that has fallen within the growing range, like growing season. So we probably look better than we should, to be
Hmm.
honest. Yeah, look, canola was late, obviously, as everyone's was late
Yep.
coming up. But cereals have still got huge potential. Well, canola's still got pretty good potential too. If we get if we can get 50 mil rain between now and the middle of October, yeah, like canola still could do two at a stretch, maybe.
Yeah.
But like wheat and barley, like I looked yesterday, and barley heads are as wide as my hand, and
Yeah.
so waist high, and like yeah, we've got really good potential if we can get half a spring. So
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
they're not like we've had roughly 30 mil here for the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it's and
It's
we've
still
got
ticking along.
it's still ticking along, and we've got really good sheep feed too. That's one thing we do have. We've got an abundance of feed at the moment.
Yeah.
Most
Okay.
stuff,
Yep.
stuff that we've planted, but the Lucen loves the warmer weather and that, so it's starting to get a run on now. So
Yep.
we're not feeding any sheep, which is always good. Chucking a bit of hay out, but just to give a bit of roughage. But yeah, no, it's the job's pretty good at the moment, really on the ground. It's
Yeah,
just
no, we're the same. The barley and the wheat sort of looks like there's sort of nothing wrong. I would say just looking at the head length, you can tell it's not a wet year. Like our planet barley's probably looking at it sort of 17, 18 long in the head, whereas good year is sort of well over 20. Um, I haven't looked at any wheat heads at this stage, but they tend to fill out later on anyway. If things start to improve, there's the sky is the limit, but it's probably capped, is what I'm thinking.
yeah. It's it's going to have to get wet if it's going to be a bin buster by any stretch.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting just we buy our rams from Ballard Area Park, and I was talking to him probably 2 weeks ago before we had the rain here, and they were sort of getting pretty close to putting sheep on crops. He sort of said, if we
yeah.
don't get rain next week, and I was a bit surprised actually. I didn't realise it was that tough up there. So um,
They would have had a
yeah,
fair bit through there in the end, wouldn't they? I
I
think
would have
so. I
thought
heard
so. Yeah,
reports of like 70 mil up north of Wagga. Yeah,
yeah. Good mate at Wagga, and they had 40. So yeah, I don't know. I think that the Catch My Drift boys, I think they'd had 30 or 40, I think, too, by the sounds of it. So
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
At Forbes and through there. So
I haven't had a listen to any of their later podcasts. So I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and drive a truck or drive a tractor. That's generally 90% of my podcast time.
yeah, it's about all I listen to. I don't listen to a lot of radio, so
Yeah, right.
podcasts.
Yep. Now I've been banging this crap in around my garden. There's not a lot that happens other than swearing and blood, sweat, and tears. Really.
Happy wife, happy life, Andy. You know how that works.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. If I could keep her happy while I'm doing it, that'd be great. Because we managed to put in a couple of gates that were not quite at the right height, and she's already letting me know about that.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, it's what it is.
Story.
So, just have you played around? I'm just looking at the comments. Sorry. Have you played around with other summer crops, sorghum? Have you looked into cereal varieties to grow over the summer? Have you played with sorghum at all?
No, not grain sorghum. I haven't. We've mucked around with forage sorghum, and I know sheep don't. The lambs don't do on forage sorghum. It's more a cattle job.
Yeah.
Neighbour just grew a little that plants our corn for us. He just grew 4 or 5 hectares of grain sorghum last year. He's actually going to go pretty hard with it this year. I think he had sort of offers of contracts for $400 a ton. So for this year, so I was talking to him today. And I think he's going to have a crack at some. So
we did some seed sorghum there not that long ago, and it was quite lucrative, but small, like small hectares, like 10 hectares in a rotation. It's not much, you know.
Yeah. Same. It's a bit like the corn. It's having the markets for it.
Yeah,
we're a bit
much,
we're a bit far south for the big cattle feedlots and that sort of thing.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. We did a dryland way back in the day. I remember it clearly because it was a complete flop. But I can't. I don't actually know where it ended up in the end.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't tell you where it got marketed to, but yeah. And just have a look. Another comment. JB Andy, last March at Tongue had SA Harvest Crew harvest crop corn for someone, but who? Plenty of road tractors and end of comment. Jillamatong, there's a corn over there that's probably
it would go to
Roger.
It's Matthews.
Matthews stuff.
What, Jillamatong?
He's next door to Jillamatong. He's Colin Diner.
Yeah. But it would be going to
the dairy.
Corridor Dairy, yeah, Riverina Milk.
That's right. Yeah, they're just behind them there.
Yeah.
100%. Thoughts on canola price for this year? That's a bit of a topical one.
Yeah. If it stays where it is, it'll be good.
It's okay. Yeah.
750 hopefully the new norm, or minimum 750.
Yeah. I think that's pretty accurate there. We've been all hanging out for 800. Don't think it's going to quite get there, but 750 is not bad.
No.
So the first, I follow a shooter on TikTok that was talking about apparently the first of Australia's canola crop has ended up in China for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, okay.
So that's probably more what's buoying up the canola prices than anything, because they have stopped taking canola from Canada apparently.
Yeah.
It got the big bloody ugly tax. What's the name of the tax? What do they call them? The tax when you import. Yeah, tariff. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, it's a tariff. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. It got the big ugly tariff. So Canada's out for probably a year, if it's anything like the barley when China banned our barley. I'd say it's probably going to last a year before they go, oh, actually, no, we can bring your stuff in.
At the very minimum.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's probably where canola's it's going to hover there for a little bit. I think wheat, barley going forward, there's nothing really going to drive it forward, drive it up. Gavin asked what caused the grain price to drop. There's just a glut in the market. Everyone's having a pretty good run. No one's in deep drought or deep storm damage or anything weird. Everyone's sort of just ticking along pretty nice. So the market's got a glut.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, no one's doing it tough at the moment. That's really what's causing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, what percentage do you end up working on with your winter crops? We're talking rotation, Caleb. If it's talking rotation, we're about, I think it's roughly 40, 30, 30, 40% barley, 30% canola, 30% wheat is what we generally run on.
Yeah.
Our barley is our biggest one for a couple of reasons. It tends to respond a little bit better in a drier season. We've generally found you can still get pretty good yield out of dry barley over, say, dry wheat. But that being said, we always nearly at least aim for malt barley. So we have an end user for that down at port, and we just deliver it flat out to them. So we tend to aim for that malt premium. If you're getting back into the feed market, then she's pretty woeful.
Yeah. And we're sort of 40, 40, 20, probably 40 canola, 40 barley, 20 wheat.
Yeah.
Probably for the main reason is our country seems to grow good barley. Like we're always that tonne and a half, 2 tonnes of hectare better than wheat, and it's cheaper to grow. So
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Now, I 100% echo those things. I think we used to be 30, 30, 30 back in the day, or 30, 30, 40, probably more the lion's share towards corn. We tend to end up with a little bit more canola, trying to chase the corn behind the canola. But yeah, it's not really, it's just not that way anymore, essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Better, like the newer varieties has really probably helped the barley job a bit too. Like,
Are you going any Neo?
No, we were planning to. I just left the run a bit late to get any seed, but they reckon it's we're all planted here, and
Same.
Blokes do have a bit of trouble with it with test weight. We don't seem to have had that issue, but
same.
You get a good year, like it'll yield. Like we've had it too. I think average 8.5 tonne on the dry there back in 22, 21, 22. Like it's
you can't compete with that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's very, very good stuff when it wants to. It does. It can be unforgiving. I've seen it being unforgiving, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
It does. It is a bit of a record breaker for sure. If the Neo does half as good, we got. I think it's 200 hectares of Neo, but I can't be 100% sure on that. And it looks the same as the Planet. We'll see what happens when we hit it with the header, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, what do we got? Process of taking canola down due to the soybeans not going to China. Yeah, probably. There's some of that going on too. It's the soybean oil, I think, can drive the oil, drive the price of canola around a little bit. I'm not too familiar with how that works, but again, the person I follow on TikTok is very over all that.
Yeah.
What feed mix are you looking to use in your feedlot in the future, JB? That's probably a bit early for that question.
Probably wheat and lupins is what we'll be doing with a buffer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a push with using wheat. I know blokes might turn their toes up at it a bit, but there's a company that are pushing it and getting 3 to 3.5 to 1 conversion as opposed to a barley. So
okay,
that's the plan.
Does that affect the protein? I presume the protein would be pretty high in that case.
Oh well, you probably try and aim for your lower protein wheat if you can. Like
you go for your feed,
your ASW or something like that if you can get it.
Okay. I think lupins are pretty high protein, are they? I don't grow too many of them, to be honest.
sort of run about a 16% lupin
Protein.
protein. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry,
fair enough.
16% lupin in the mix. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, right. What's the I was looking at the feeders the other day. You've got the water in the PVC, is that right?
Yes. Yep.
And you've
Yep.
got what do you actually do for the feed mix?
So we've got there's a couple of different brands now, but we've got Feed Tech auto feeders. So basically, like they're a scentless auger type system, bit like what you see in a dairy
Yep.
dairy feeders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know what you're
So
talking about. Yep.
we've actually had them sitting here. We bought them back in 2018, I think, or 2019. 19 it was, where we set up containment areas for our ewes, and we were going to plan was to use them in there, but they just weren't big enough.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we've got them here in the shed. We've never used them, so we've sort of just need to get our fingers out. This has sort of been the catalyst for it to, sort of get it organised and utilise them, because there's 25 or 30 grand's worth of gear sitting there that we're not using. So
Yeah, that's hard. Yep.
yeah, so what do we? Someone did ask. I think we'll have 1,000 head in it at any one time. Is the sort of plan with the pen size and that sort of thing. Like, we're just going to go slow. We're not making it nuts to start with. We'll just go slow and sort of get the feel for
Easy
it.
to it.
Make sure it's going to work. So
So I remember seeing a lamb feedlot back in the day that didn't have any shelter or any description. Is that normal, or is that
I think it is. I think they reckon that there's no effect on them, but Jesus, I don't know. Like, I don't like standing out in the sun, so I imagine an animal won't. So the plan is we'll put some probably shade.
cloth?
Get some shade sails. Like, you can buy a 7 metre by 7 metre shade sail for about $250. So I think we'll put a few of them together in each pen, just to give them a bit of cover, because it's just
You got to have something.
From an some blokes mightn't, but myself, from an animal welfare point of view, I reckon it'd be pretty critical in the middle of summer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that. I mean, you often see sheep line up in a row, and the second ones will sort of line up in the shadow of the first line. But
Yeah,
like they're pretty resourceful sort of things when they get to thinking about surviving. Well, not merinos, but yeah,
yeah,
But they can work. They can work together. But I was a little bit surprised when I saw it. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, it's going to get bloody hot there in the summer for sure.
yeah. And you do see, like, don't get me wrong, you do see them, especially in the green feed and the lucerne and that. Like, you do see them out on a 38-degree day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, wandering around eating. Like, so
Yes.
but they're probably
They can
a
still
bit.
work for it. It's
It's
like
still
us. We can still work in 40-degree heat. It just sucks
100%.
ass.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So no, we are planning to put some shade in as well. So it'll be a sort of, we'll start small and just see how it goes, and sort of try and keep the costs down, and see how it progresses.
Yep. And what obviously someone McCrispy Gaming here asked what breed you're going to run. What breed are you going to run? Actually,
Breed of animal. So
yeah, breed of sheep.
we're breeding first cross lambs ourselves. So
It's just going to be that.
Yeah, that, and then we'll buy in, first or second cross probably. Just
Okay.
see, if we can get some merino weathers at the right money, you might go that way. But we'll probably work on getting the contract, forward contract first, and then go to the market, and so we know we're going to do it in reverse, know what we're going to get, and then work out what they weigh and what we're going to have to pay for them, and you go from there. So obviously your second cross lambs, your Dorset cross, white Suffolk cross are the pick of them for as meat animals. So but yeah, like, we'll work on finishing off our own if we need to, if the job gets a bit tight or something like that. But a year like this, the feed we've got, we won't have a lot of we've got sort of 1,500 lambs of our own running around. We won't have a lot left by Christmas time. Just because the way the feed is and the way they're doing. So
Yeah.
Like we'll probably get harvest out of the road, and then look at buying something in then perhaps, and just do a 12 or 16 week. If you could do a couple of lots in that 16-week period, start of April or something like that, when you start to get busy again with lambing and harvest and sowing. If you could have the feedlot empty by the end of April, I think it'd be pretty good outcome, really.
Yeah. Yep. Excuse me for a second. I'm just going to close that door. All kids and their screaming wife is getting a little bit rowdy. Yeah. So, that's good. Yeah, that sounds like it's all going to go pretty well. It's a good time to be moving into it. I mean, how often is it that you start moving towards something like that and the price drops out at the arse out of it? Like it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Well,
happens more often than not.
we're sort of a bit, call it luck, it's not good management at all, but grain prices are down, so it's you're buying, we'll be putting our own grain through it, so we're effectively adding. It's hard to value add $350 a ton wheat, but when it's only $280 a ton wheat, it's a bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I just say I got a new member there. Thanks, Don Mooring. You've got me second member. I don't know if you got members set up on your channel, JB. The memberships have been slow to come in, but we just got our second one.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, what's hold on, I'll just read this one. With dairy cows, we find it worse. Less than enough shade as the crowd in and get hotter with no shade. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There's something to be said. I'm talking out of my wheelhouse here a little bit there, but I know there's a lot of success being had with those big cow sheds, the dairy sheds that people are running out. It's basically a feedlot for dairies. Have you seen those down just across the river?
There's a couple at Finley now, a couple of big ones, yeah.
They're bloody
And
everywhere down there when you start going to the west, like Tongala, uh, Kai Valley. I can think of there's a couple. Obviously, there's ones over at Finley too, as you said. They're there, and the people. I've talked to one particular farmer that she said was it was making them a lot of money having them shedded all the time. So I don't know. I don't know. As I said, not my wheelhouse, but this is what I'm told.
yeah, like talking to one of the guys over here we know pretty well that's gone that way. And I think he was like 18 to sort of 22 or 3% increase in milk production. Just
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's climate control. They're not standing out in the heat in summertime, and they're not ploughing around in the mud in the wintertime. Cow health's a lot in mastitis and that sort of stuff's fallen right away because they're not dealing with the mud and the dust. And
And they
staff.
don't have to work for it either. They're not walking for bloody miles to get their food. They just stand there and bloody produce milk. Like there's not a whole lot of they don't have to walk all the way around the paddock to get their food and really chomp and work for it. They get it at one time or a couple of times during the day and it's away.
Yeah, and they're walking. If it's raining or whatever, like getting the cows in, well, they're
Slugging
walking. They're walking 50, 60 meters to the dairy as opposed to 500, 600 meters in the sleeting rain. I think the staff are enjoyed a fair bit more too.
For sure, yeah. The one I particularly went to actually had it was you go along along the center and feed out, and then it had a robot sweeper that swept whatever was pushed away from where the cows were eating back towards them. So
Yeah,
that was interesting to see, and it just went up the shed and then turned around and come back down the other side and did it all again.
yeah.
Hmm. I got another member. Thanks, Countrywide Ag Steve. We're racking up members here left, right, and centre. This is
It's all
amazing.
happening.
Yeah, but just looking at Nick Press's comment there on merch, and I was going to ask you about your merch. How are you getting on with it?
Just waiting on a batch of hats. So we've put an order in for some from Country Trucker Caps off
Yep.
your advice. Although I've got a head like a pumpkin, so they're about the only hat that fits my head. So we've gone
That's
that
exactly why I only buy the damn things.
So I'm hoping the next 2 or 3 weeks we'll get something. We'll have them in our hot little hands. I haven't launched a website or anything as such yet, just because you've got to pay to have it
Do that.
running. So I sort of just cooled my jets on that one. So hopefully, once we get it, we'll get the website cranking and get them on the market. So just baby steps on the merch side of things for the moment. Like I know you got hoodies and t-shirts and that sort of stuff.
It all takes time,
hats and stubby holders and that sort of stuff. I'm sort of doing it all myself, so it's just something extra that we've got to deal with. We do have a bit of an idea with the website, and possibly it would only be a local thing, but boxed lamb. We do have there's a micro abattoir being built not that far from us, so it's something we've always wanted to do, always talked about doing. So it would be just a monthly order in a 50k radius or something. So we're just that's sort of ticking away in the back of my head. We need to do a bit more homework on it yet, but you could order half a lamb or a full lamb dressed and chopped up and be delivered to your door or something like that. So
that'd be awesome. I did figures on popcorn. The rain grain popcorn was going to be my thing, and I realized you could buy unpopped popcorn in a bag for like $2 a bag, and I thought to myself, "There's no way I can put it in a bag for less than $2. It just doesn't work." So we use we use the popcorn as a bit of a bribe for anyone who turns up on the farm. Just that everyone leaves with a glad snap bag full of popcorn, and hopefully, I give one to the bank manager in hope that he'd give us a rather large loan that we needed to keep the cash flow going, and so it turned out to be an expensive bag of popcorn for him, but probably for us in the end.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes. We've got a couple more questions and we'll jet off. We're at 57 minutes here. How soon do you think autonomy will be part of your operation?
It's probably a scale thing. I see Gus McClymont. He said good day there earlier on. He's got a Swarmbot unit up at Gundawindi. They're pretty impressive. It's probably more up your alley, Andy, than mine. We probably don't have the scale to justify it as such. But look, I was skeptical that they might not work down there, but after seeing one in the flesh run, they'd work anywhere. It'd be they're really, really, really impressive. So it's not that far away. I think the bigger operators with the camera spraying. The camera spraying is the fit for them, I think.
I think so too.
It's probably not in our. We're probably looking more down the drone path, probably just with the size of our operation. Especially
the new 100-litre drone from DJI just come out.
See that, So especially with the summer crop job, So this, it's coming, but I don't know. Like you see the automation like that John Deere 9RX or whatever it was in the States on, you pay
Larson's,
you pay I don't know $800,000 or $900,000 for a tractor. I'd want to sit in the bloody thing and drive it, not have a robot drive it. What's the point? So I don't know.
Even if put the autonomy on the old buddy, the old Chamberlain fuckers. No one wants to drive that.
You could have autonomy. You could be autonomous, but I'm still going to sit in it, so I might as well turn it around at the end or do something, So
the bloody the tractors are almost the last thing you want autonomized, isn't it? Because it's the only job that I still bloody enjoy on the farm.
We saw we went up to Moree on a trip. I don't know what it was, probably 10 years ago now. And there's a place there north of Moree. and they had an autonomous Fendt tractor, and the guy had
Yeah.
actually imported the software and hardware himself, and set it up, and it was on a camera sprayer, and we pulled up in the bus, and this tractor's rolling along from the net, like it appeared from out of sight, and then it got to the end and turned and headed off again, and he actually stopped it, but it was bloody impressive to see. It was just on the tram lines, and yeah.
I think well, you might not have seen it. The Jackson Brothers had a field day at that exact tractor. I think
Yeah,
it was a Fendt. It's only a couple of videos ago. I was watching it there on the weekend.
yep. So I think that, like,
interesting.
I know the Fendt, well, there's a company that do a plug and play for the Fendt tractors.
Yep.
So that's quite possible. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's definitely coming. There's no doubt about that. It's a bit like auto steer. You look at where auto steer's come in the last 15 years from what it was. Light bar to enduro turn and that sort of stuff. So it's technology, as everyone knows, technology can move pretty quickly.
For sure, yeah. Yep. Anyway, JB, we're up to an hour there now. We might leave it, but this has been quite successful. We didn't get too many randos in here like us expected, but that's good.
It's a couple there a couple of times, but anyway.
We've had a good run from start to finish. We're at 150 people watching us at the moment, so obviously we must be doing something right. Yep. Good luck with all the merch. Good luck with the channel, and I'll look forward to having a look through all your harvest footage and whatnot. It's probably going to be the next big thing for the YouTube sector, is getting out of this bit of a stalemate of work and getting into some harvest and planting.
Yeah, everyone seems to loves the machinery or stuff going wrong, one of the two. So,
well, hopefully we can get both.
Yeah.
For the YouTube side only.
Oh, yeah. Nah, very good.
All right, then. No worries. I'll leave you with it. Thank you for joining in, and I will endeavour to get you back in the new year, I reckon, because it's going to work good. If anyone on my side or anyone in general wants to see other collabs like this, hit us up. Probably should be talking to a couple of the other blokes, Lock Valley and a couple of those. Even what's the Merit blokes? Can't remember the Merit blokes. Merit Contracting's first name. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yep.
We should be, buddy, all trying to collab up together and get a few of these going, because they're very, very useful for everyone, not just us.
Well, we're all trying to do it. We're all advocating for ag at the end of the day. Like, we're all singing from the same hymn book, so as such. Not that I'm religious in any way, shape, or form, but we're all just trying to show everyone how it's done, and we're all doing it a bit differently. So we can.
I just see Mitchell Brislin there said Tom Brooks. So Tom's Brook, I actually shouted out to him. I was going to have him on TikTok this today, but he had to postpone. So we will have Jade from Tom's Brook on TikTok at some stage for those who are over there. Well, I've struck up a bit of a dialect with him. He's obviously a very nice bloke, as everyone will know, because you basically can see what everyone's like on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like Our Farm Life's another one. He's up in the Monaro, I suppose you call it. Yes.
Yep. I tried to get what's his name, Matt Jackson, on here. He didn't want any part of it, of course, the bastard.
Yeah.
But no, he's good. He's been having fun over in America there. So some couple of good. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But he's got a couple of good videos coming out for sure.
Yep. So, no, if you're not subscribed, jump on.
Yep, jump on there.
Both channels. And most blokes that are probably watching are probably subscribed to both channels anyway. So,
there's a lot of people that are crossing paths here, like Gavin. Gavin, he's been on with me since day one, and I know he's been on with you for a bloody long time too. So thanks, Gavin Bird, you're a legend. That's the one that keeps popping up on my channel all the time.
Yep.
All right, Dan.
No,
I'll
very
leave you
good.
with it.
Righto.
Thanks very
Thanks,
much.
mate.
Catch
Thanks,
you later.
everybody. See ya.
See ya.